What's Irish and always stays outside? Patio furniture. Come on now, you know you smiled. Plus, the wording of that joke is very important because there's a completely different meaning to it if you ask, what's Irish and never comes inside? Hey folks, welcome to This Week in History. Let's do it to it. On March 14th in 1647, Bavaria, Cologne, France, and Sweden signed the Truce of Ulm. Now, Bavaria didn't have much of a choice in the matter, seeing as Sweden was pretty much having their way with them as part of the 30 Years' War. By the way, Bavaria ended up breaking the truce and rejoining the war not long after. In 1780, Spanish forces captured Fort Charlotte in modern-day Mobile, Alabama. It was the last British frontier post capable of threatening New Orleans. And it's surprising how many people are completely unaware that Spain was also fighting against the British as part of the American Revolution. On March 15th at 44 BC, the Ides of March. Ides was a Roman calendar term for roughly the 15th. We did a video about all those fun little terms. But what matters here is that Julius Caesar was assassinated by members of the Roman Senate. This wasn't too terribly popular and led to a civil war that ended up with the installation of Rome's first emperor. On the other side of that coin, in 493, Odoacer, the barbarian who dethroned the last Western Roman emperor and crowned himself as the first king of Italy, was murdered by Theodoric the Great, who was king of the Ostrogoths at the time, while the two were feasting together as part of peace talks. On March 16th, 1244, after the fall of the city of Montségur, over 200 Cathars, which was an offshoot of Christianity, who refused to recant their beliefs, were burned alive. In 1621, the first contact between the Plymouth Pilgrims, who you can learn about by clicking the eye up there, and local native tribes occurred when a Mohegan named Samoset walked out of the forest and up to a group of settlers, politely introduced himself, and asked if they had any beer in pretty much perfect English. And just so you know, he'd learned English from settlers that fished not too far away, and remember, the first English settlement in America was in 1585. On March 17th in 180, we're going back to Rome, where an 18-year-old Commodus became emperor of the Roman Empire after the death of his father, Marcus Aurelius. We don't really know how Marcus Aurelius died, but the movie Gladiator is not outside the realm of possibility. In 1805, Napoleon established the Kingdom of Italy with himself as king. Yeah, it didn't last long, but in 1861, the Kingdom of Italy was officially established. This was pretty much the creation of Italy as we know it, and it stayed the Kingdom of Italy until 1946. And a shout out to our patrons over on Patreon, Steve Stevens and Clayton Jaimes. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up last time. If you want to get in on that action, check out the link down in the description below. Also, while you're down there, you can check out our links to our social media pages, as well as our merch store. So, you know, all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, check things out, maybe a comment. Anyway, moving on. Because it's time for... The 17th is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, we did a video all about that, and it's actually the most celebrated national day in the world. Basically, imagine if the 4th of July was being celebrated in over 50 countries. Because on March 17th, everybody's Irish. Well, except the English, and they know why. It's also one of those kind of ironic holidays because on one hand it's meant to celebrate St. Patrick and the introduction of Christianity into Ireland, but also it's supposed to celebrate the traditions of Ireland that Christianity snuffed out. Just a fun dichotomy there. On March 18th of 1314, the 23rd and final Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake 2 years after the church had disbanded the Templars. In 1644, the Third Anglo-Powhatan War began in the Virginia colony. This was the last in the trilogy, and yes, we did a video over that whole mess. On March 19th in 1918, the U.S. Congress officially established time zones and daylight savings time. So yeah, you should check out the eye up there. And I promise you, I'm not intentionally doing stuff that I've done videos on. It just kind of worked out that way this week. In 1945, Adolf Hitler issued the Nero Decree, which ordered all industries, infrastructure, shops, pretty much anything that could be used, in any shape, form, or fashion by invading armies within Germany to be destroyed. Luckily, the guy in charge of carrying all that out, Albert Speer, chose not to follow that order. On March 20th in 1602, the Dutch East India Company was established after several competing shipping companies merged into one. They also were given a total monopoly on all Dutch trade from India. Yeah, most of the wealth that still exists in the Netherlands stems from the money made from this company. Looks like that's just gonna about do it for this week, but we'll see you back here next week. Same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. If you're gonna go out there and celebrate the holiday, be safe, be careful, and don't be stupid.